Hello everyone, this is Adrian Howe with Weather Rampage, and this is your hurricane alert mode. And what you're looking at right now is a graphic from the National Weather Service showing Hurricane Florence. I've been talking about Hurricane Florence. It is a very dangerous hurricane. It's still a Category 4 hurricane. And here's the projected path of Florence as sustained winds are at 130 miles per hour. And it continues to move to the west-northwest at 15 miles per hour, so it's kind of gaining speed. And as of 2 a.m. Friday, expected to come ashore, looks like now a little bit further north than anticipated here, actually right over top of Jacksonville, North Carolina. If we were to pinpoint that landfall area would be right over Jacksonville, North Carolina. Somewhere between Wilmington and Jacksonville, North Carolina is where that land, Jacksonville, actually Wilmington and Jacksonville, North Carolina. But it looks like right now they have the bullseye on Jacksonville, North Carolina. And then it comes inward as a tropical storm by 2 a.m. Saturday and 2 a.m. Sunday as a depression. And you notice here how the storm is not moving that much when it comes inland. It really slows down, and that is bad news. But we still are uncertain where this storm will actually make landfall because of some dynamics that are going on right now in the atmosphere. And when it stalls out, we don't know for sure right now where this storm could head. So that is why there's a hurricane watch all the way down into from Charleston, South Carolina, about Charleston, South Carolina, all the way up to the Virginia state line, because there's some uncertainty there. Now, there are a few models that are trying to have this storm come a little bit further south into Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, from Wilmington to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, inward as a major hurricane. And the storm is expected to have winds at 145 miles per hour when it comes ashore. So that is Hurricane Hugo's strength back in 1989. As if any of you remember Hurricane Hugo back in 1989, it was a very destructive hurricane. And North Carolina has not been hit by a hurricane this destructive in decades. So this is going to go down in history as a powerful hurricane. This is not to be played with or messed around with. This storm is going to bring major impacts. And I just want to kind of show you some things, some features with this storm. Looking at the visible loop of this storm, as you can see, this storm, actually I'm going to kind of give you some pointers on what has happened between yesterday and today with this storm. What happened yesterday, as we zoom into the eye wall, here is Hurricane Florence, a very powerful hurricane. As we look at the eye wall went through what is called an eye wall replacement cycle, where the eye wall kind of collapses in on itself, and then it redevelops a bigger eye wall or a larger eye wall or a smaller eye wall. But in this case, in the eye wall replacement cycle, the hurricane has redeveloped another eye wall, and it is now bigger than it was before. And that doesn't mean good news for a hurricane, because for the simple fact that an eye wall replacement means that the hurricane has another eye wall, and this eye wall will bring in more energy than the previous eye wall, and therefore intensification is almost certain when you get an eye wall replacement cycle in a hurricane. So that is what is happening right now. It is a normal thing that happens in hurricanes. They recycle themselves and get into that phase where there is an eye wall replacement cycle. And that is exactly what is going on here with Hurricane Florence. And the winds are expected to reach 145 to 150 miles per hour when it's right after this eye wall replacement cycle. So we are monitoring that situation very closely here. And as you see that satellite view, this is a monster, folks. This is a major hurricane. I want to show you the IR satellite view, and as you can see here, that tells the story even more. As you can see, look at that, everybody. Just look at that. That is powerful. That is a powerful hurricane, and this eye wall is getting more and more its act together as it moves to the west-northwest at 15 miles per hour. And that eye wall is going to get more symmetrical. The storm is starting to get a little more symmetrical and more organized as that eye wall replacement cycle continues, and is just about completed right now. So as it gets completed, you can look for some major changes with this storm in terms of intensity. And I want to leave you with the GOES 16 satellite image of this storm. And look at that. This is the true color imagery of this storm. Just textbook classic hurricane, as you can see here. And there's nothing impeding the progress of this storm. Nothing there that is potentially going to tear this storm apart. And it is also going through that phase of also venting. And the central dense overcast, which is a meteorological term, is getting more organized with this storm, which means that the storm is venting at the top, which means that there's a lot of outflow beginning to expand with this storm, which means also with the eye wall replacement cycle that this storm is getting larger, it is getting bigger. The wind field is also increasing with this storm. Wind field is getting larger and wider with this storm. So this is going to be a powerful hurricane nevertheless. Wherever it makes landfall, anywhere between Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, up to just past Jacksonville, North Carolina, to the Outer Banks, need to be watching this storm. And I'm going to give you the wide range view. Here what you see right now is the GOES East Band view, which is GOES satellite overhead view of this storm. As you can see, here's that storm right here. That big spiral, that first spiral, not the second one, but the first spiral. And yeah, this is having a little bit of problems. But as you saw with that, it was getting closer and closer to the Carolinas as it continued to move in that direction. What I want to show you a little bit here is what is going to be really serious with this storm. And that is the storm surge totals with this storm. I zoomed into the Outer Banks and the Carolina coastline to show you what is expected right now with the storm surges, which is ocean water coming over top into inland, which inundates and floods areas. Intertidal zone, as you can see, it goes anywhere from intertidal zone to greater than 9 feet above ground. And some of these areas are expected to get 9 feet of storm surge. That is catastrophic, folks. That is major. You do not want to be in these areas to get storm surges that high. 9 feet of storm surge. Here, as you can see, New Bern. If you live in New Bern, you need to be out of there. New Bern, Trent Woods, Vanceboro, Riverbend. Some of these areas, as you can see, it shows it here on the map. Expect to get greater than 9 feet of storm surge. So I hope you are evacuated from that area, because you do not want to be there with that type of storm surge. And other areas showing greater than 3 feet, which is still catastrophic here along the coastline. And let's see, Vandermeer, Mesick, Hoboken, Lowland, and around Bay River and Bayboro here in North Carolina. Expected to get storm surges greater than 3 feet, greater than 6 feet, the closer to the shore you get. And that's typical of hurricanes. They bring more storm surge ashore. And there is some powerful storm surge expected with this storm. So do not undermine this storm by no means necessary, because this storm is going to have some powerful impacts. It is a major hurricane. It is expected to continue that major Category 4 hurricane strength status and even intensify before it gets to the coastline. In Jacksonville, you need to be really looking at this storm, because right now the eye wall is expected to come right over top of you, and that is not going to be very good as far as catastrophic wind damage and devastating damage with this storm. So please be mindful of this storm. Let your family members know about this storm. Let them know what's going on if they don't know anything about this storm as it continues. Now, I want to show you the wind speed probabilities of this storm. As you can see here, about a 90% chance, as you can see here, around Jacksonville, North Carolina, and near Wilmington, North Carolina, 90% chance that there will be tropical storm wind speeds with this storm. Hurricane wind speed probability. That's not what I want to show you. Hold on, 1 second here. Hurricane wind speed probabilities are showing. Let's see. I forget this map shows hourly stuff. But hurricane wind speed probabilities, as you can see here, still in that area, Jacksonville and Wilmington, North Carolina, hurricane wind speed probability is 50 to 60% here, which means that you could experience hurricane force winds as a certainty over 50% here in Jacksonville, Wilmington, North Carolina. It decreases the more inland you go. But nevertheless, do not let your guard down if you live from Myrtle Beach all the way up to Jacksonville, North Carolina, because this storm is still uncertain where this storm is going to make landfall. If you live inland, anywhere from Myrtle Beach to Lumberton, North Carolina, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, up into Bennettsville, and Rockingham and Hamlet, North Carolina, and up into Rayford, and also those areas and up into Greensboro and north of Charlotte, you need to be still monitoring this weather situation, because it is still uncertain where this storm is going, and the possibilities are there that this eye wall could come inland on top of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina as well. So be mindful of that. Do not let your guard down. There's going to be some major flooding and impacts from this storm. I'm talking about flooding over 18 inches of rain possible with this storm as an impact. So by no means am I letting the guard down with this storm. And here's the flooding potential. Over 20 something inches of rain here around Jacksonville, North Carolina, to the northeast of there. But as I said, points to the west here. There are some models pointing that there could be some major flooding from Riceville Beach down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, into areas of Lumberton, Richmond County, Rockingham, Hamlet, Scotland County, over into the Charlotte metro area. Could get over 12 inches of rain from this storm. If that were to happen, that would be a bad scenario. So we're praying that doesn't happen. We're keeping an eye on this storm. I will let you know the particulars on Hurricane Florence as it continues to make a devastating and catastrophic strike to North Carolina. I will keep you updated on the storm. This is your Hurricane Alert with Adrian Howard. This is your Extreme Hurricane Alert mode with Adrian Howard with Weather Rampage. Take care, everyone, and stay safe out there and evacuate as soon as possible. There are mandatory evacuations for this storm all along from South Carolina all the way up into Virginia. So millions of people have already evacuated, and we expect that trend to continue with this powerful hurricane. I will keep you updated, everyone. Take care.